Greetings everyone, here's Lodrick again, and this is a game for the Pacific Advanced Edition. This is my play by email match against KilRoy on the new version 27 of the game with a slightly new map. This is scenario 1 with no modification, but the allies have the working torpedoes already at the start of the war. So no additional debuff for Mark 14, 13, 15. I think last turn I took the Batavia, so my operation in Java nearly over. This is a cruiser formation intercepting here some, I'm not too sure what they really are. AMCs, okay. So these are local minesweepers I intercept here at Cochin, west coast of India. Not so important ships, but and Pennsylvania escaped my torpedo attack. So again, no big hit. Luckily for KilRoy. Maybe St. Louis is heavily damaged, so at least one ship out of the many chances I had, I got hit on it. Here's an AK with fuel on board, so it's burning and sinking. And Express can score a next hit on my submarine. More ships are sinking for the allies. This is a bigger allied troop transport ship convoy. Unluckily, the destroyer forced my submarine to activity. I cannot find something really juicy, but here is one more cargo ship burning. So many misinformations, always blue letters, or you see your own ships or whatever. You're sweeping the skies to make sure that later my incoming bombers have no trouble. And again, no British allied caps over Burma. There's one Wildcat still, like last turn already, but I have the escort fighters. I can create here more hits on ships in port. But California sunk last turn already, so these are now all cargo ships or APs. Still they have value. And if I keep them on fire, then they slowly die. At the same time, my Navy is trying to finish the Prince Harry. I think last turn I this always, and today I have no torpedoes. Bombardment China. many small bombardments. KilRoy have his own mini strike. MP-17s. Okay, this time the hit something. Still, payload is reduced. Yeah. No torpedoes left for me. Maybe I'm low on supplies, so... Oh, I forgot to rearm the base with torpedoes. Okay. Now I have my torpedoes. First hit was a dud, but the second torpedo with detonation, and the third one also. So 3-4 torpedo hits. And this is now the end of Prince Rupert. There's also AVD, but today no hit on it. Do some Malaya or British Allied force blocking the rail. Okay. Oh, there are two ships, Prince Henry and Prince Rupert. Okay. Okay. Then there's one more AMC. At least one more AMC. Outside of port. Inside port, there are so many ships burning already. So I also land here on Kopeng. This is one of the last Dutch air bases normally. So a lot of battleships, because I have nothing really to do with this kind of battleships. They're too slow to really hunt anything. So I think their best use is maybe bombardment. This is then really the last Chinese port city, or port base. So, the Eastern Dutch army finally surrender. So, there's no dot base or other base left. So, but you can see that all these units had only 4,500 guys inside. So 15 units, the 90% was empty, or even more. But this was the end of East Java Dutch army. Wenchau is a little tough still. I take more Chinese with me, but it's not really an easy going battle. Changsha losing the next fort level. Yeah, the casualties more in my favor. And the tank's still trying to inflict her casualties on this retreating Chinese forces. And Cebu still holding strong. Ah, yeah. And Sepang is not really a small. It's simply not working, but maybe tomorrow. No Maya is only bombardment. All bombardments. Ah yeah, KilRoy still trying because he's losing the battle of Changsha slowly, so he tried to maybe take Nanchang. But even if you're only fort level 1, but the attacker is out of supplies, so if you don't have supplies you cannot really attack. Still, I'm losing here equipment. It's not that I don't lose here anything, but I can maybe afford it. And this Indish troop is now also defeated. Nothing left. So, again, a good day for the Japanese Empire overall. I mean, some big fish escaped, Pennsylvania and other transport ships. No airstrike for my carriers. Still, air losses are equally. So I lost a bunch of K-21 and KilRoy lost other stuff. But only one lost or killed pilot. Ship sunk was last turn Prince Rupert. It's a Canadian ship now. 23. It looks not really big. And it's more like a light cruiser. I don't know, it's I think less than an AMC and more like a light cruiser, but maybe not the best ship, but some ships. And a bunch of local minesweepers. Nothing really too important for KilRoy to lose, but maybe amount of ships is more the success for me so far. So in China, no real change. My cleanup division is trying to catch up and clean the roads to Yan'an, and my tank's doing the same more west. Maybe next turn I can take Changsha if there's no reinforcements. And my forces here are, of course, bleeding dry, but I still don't really have high destroyed units, mostly only disabled. What is dying is this kind of support stuff. They are losing equipment. But it's okay. I would say I can lose this Chinese police garrison units without really be terrified. And here in Burma I also move my parts around trying to trap Chinese or British Chinese troops here. There are also some units here at the coastline. Maybe KilRoy try to bring here more British forces and build his next defense line. I was trying to hunt here some cargo shipping, but I find only the small local minesweepers. Malaya is, I think, now really free of any forces, so same like Thailand. East Java is now under control. There's only one unit here in Jakarta. I don't know where they come from, but maybe one slipped. And here's also some smaller units, but the main body is here the Batavia army. But I hope I can finish them. I'm already on my way. Kopeng unloaded here some troops, destroys this Dutch Air Force base. Here is now still the Allies here are battle at least reported battleships, can be anything. These are the carriers, and these are at least 2 or 3 carriers, and they're moving northwest, so I think they're moving like this direction. Maybe trying to find my cargo ships, and I try to more or less escape to Tulagi, and in Tulagi I have an air base, so I have here some fighters on patrol, long range cap, covering my forces. At the same time, my carriers are moving southwest, so maybe we have a carrier battle in the next 2 days. We will see. Yeah, but because I normally think that here are still allied aircraft, the potential threat of allied carriers here in this area grounded my air operations. So I had here a naval attack, but at the end nothing fly. I mean they fly, but they don't hit the important target. I only try to hit here something. I don't know, these are maybe all ships not so important. So these are PT boats, corvettes. I think then the commander decided don't attack this stuff. And there are still many ships in port 18. So I think we are at peak was 27. Now reported 18 ships. And I have here a new airbase also going for. They will maybe start bombarding. So I have now on 2 air bases I can reach the port and bombard here all the ships and ground forces. Also, if you can see here, there's spotted troops of nearly 14,000, but this is a atoll, so the maximum stacking limit is I think only 6,000, so KilRoy is over double. I'm not sure how guns and AVs count in this, so it's really only troops. But I think this also make it complicated and hard to maintain this base for KilRoy. He is under airstrike pressure, submarines lurking here, and my potential carrier threat. So it's not really an easy, I think, task for KilRoy to maintain this base. It's also for him a little far away. I mean, Hawaii is not nearby. So I mean, it makes sense if the Allies want to take Marshall Islands, but then you normally must take it swift and all. And then you can normally threat truck. And once you take Marshall Islands plus truck, it's super hard for the Japanese to maintain all what is here in the source. At least it makes it much more complicated. Yeah, so that's maybe I can make a short look at other stuff. I'm not more sure. So this is now the total air losses so far. 400 for the Japanese, roughly speaking, and 1,400 for the Allies. So 3-to-1 kill ratio, maybe more or less. And for me, I lost a lot of zeros, of course. And then you have here light bombers, torpedo navy bombers, and other stuff. And I think this is all okay. Problem is here only again that I losing not really a lot of Oscars, because there's no opportunity for me to bring the Oscars in action. Oscars are land-based. I mean, they have long range, but so far I really find no way to really use them actively in combat. Most of my fighting is based on zeros. And the Allies lost a lot of Buffaloes, outdated airframes. P-40s are okay to kill. These are also Buffaloes. These are Buffaloes. So you can see the main body of KilRoy's lost airframes are all outdated airframes. But the amount of lost airframes is of course high for KilRoy. Yeah. Good, and you can see that here my top pilots, 11, 10 and the others, or if you want to check it by experience, I come in close. I have a bunch of 80 pilots with experience, but not too many. Or you can also check the missions, and you can see some guys are flying really nearly everyday missions. Not only one mission, you can see these guys are because pilot they can make cap missions many times per day. If there's more incoming strikes, then they have more missions. And I play it like a Japanese. A pilot will fight to the end. He's maybe he can retire if he is getting injured or he die in duty, but I don't really build something like a training squad or something like this. I train everything here on map. If the situation with Tokyo and the supplies are now still the same, so I'm still at the edge of to keep the industry working. 30 to 30,000 I think is the bare minimum you need in Tokyo. Better have 50,000. Then normally I think everything will work smoothly at maximum efficiency. This is more or less the limit how fast you can increase your industry. At the same time, the second factor is normally keeps the resource storage at roughly 1 million. Then you also know that you don't run out of resources too fast. Keep an eye on crude oil. I think 500,000 would be nice to have here, so that your refineries are always at max capacity. And fuel, I don't know. I think if you have 500,000 tons of fuel in Tokyo, I think also is enough. Most important is really supplies. Keep an eye on supplies and on resources. And the resources is of course, it gets more tough to handle the resources if you increase the industry in Japan. If you don't really build more heavy industry early on, then you will also have less problems with resources. But more industry means more consumption of resources, means more shipping of resources back to Japan. But building more industry early on means also have a more easy life in the future with the supplies. So this is Japan. Handle it well or go down. And only to make sure, so this is so far my status. I will maybe build a little more, but I normally don't push here more. You can also see maybe better here that I have heavy industry, max of 16,000 and a little, there's only little disabled. 11,000 light industry, there's more disabled but I don't repair it. And the refineries are still a bunch of forces or buildings are disabled, plus crude oil. Crude oil on the refineries I will still build. Resources, light industry, and manpower I will never repair. But my supply output is now at 16,000, 26,000, 27,000, 30,000 and a little. So maybe I come to 31,000, 32,000. I think everything around of 30,000 supply production per day is okay. And I think the bare maximum you can handle is maybe 33,000. I think if you come over 33,000, you simply will never have enough resources to feed all of this industry. So I think I'm in a good spot with this. Later on, I must maybe increase also my vehicle industry. I have now still pool, but later you get upgrades to better tanks, and this will consume a lot of vehicle points, so I must increase this. But it's not at the early stage important, but maybe in 1 or 2 months I must double maybe this output. Engines are super related to your R&D, so there's simply no easy way to handle this, but I say in this game I go with double 32, single 33, but triple 34, triple 35. And the meaning is because the 33 is related to 2 important airframes for the Japanese. It's the A6 M8 and the H8K edition. No, they're going for 32. I don't even know more. What was the other airframe? I really don't know more, but I think the most important first airframe is coming is the H6M8. For this you need the H33 engine, but because in this game I go for A6M5 and this is based on H35, I need to push this airframe first, and it's coming now close to 500. Then I can first finish the R&D of this airframe. And first, if this is done, and this maybe needs 2 months more, so maybe in June I will be done with this. Then I have more time to build up the pool numbers for the H33. So I hope that I normally roughly make a calculation that I can catch up the H33 500 pool before I finish the R&D of the A6M5. So this makes no sense more or less to push this pool to 500 before you have any airframe asking for it. That would be waste. So I try to push this airframe first, though I go with 3 factories for this. And these are normally the 2 airframes you need first, 34, 35. This is Helen and Tojo, and this is normally everything, but most importantly, the first airframe asked for this is the A6M5. This is then the H8 flying boat. Good. I know this is a little complicated and there are many different ways how to handle this, but as a German engineer I think often about this and try to squeeze out the maximum, and it's not always the best to be the first. Often it's simply efficiency and how much money or supplies you want to invest early on in this kind of build the factories out. How many you really must build to reach your goal, and if your pool numbers of airframes is simply exploding for no reason, I mean, I need only 500. I don't need here 5,000 airframes in backup. So, but this is also related to how many airframes you really must build and if you build them. So I built up some zeros factories to 80, but I stopped now the production because now I want first, now my goal is to reach for this airframe, because this is now under R&D, I need here as soon as possible the pool of 500. But my pool number is close to 500, so I need 1 or 2 more days, then I can activate here the R&D bonus and double my R&D. And this is a huge change in the game. Good, I think it's enough. If you have more questions, always ask. See you next time. Take care. Bye bye.